Hi, Megan here from megansiemens.com, and today we're chatting all about how to get into balance and what the heck that even means. So let's start off with what balance is. So, a lot of people have a misconception on what balance in your life is, and they say it's a myth or a unicorn or it's not possibly possible. And I'm here to tell you that it absolutely is. And in fact, it's so important for living a life that you truly, truly love and enjoy, right? So, what balance is not a scale that's perfectly weighed out like this, right? What balance is in your life is knowing when you've pulled too far to one side and you need to bring yourself back to center. Knowing when you've pulled yourself too far to another side and knowing that you need to bring yourself back to center. Balance is not about being perfect. Balance is not about being happy all the time. Balance is about knowing when you've fallen way too far into hustle mode and you haven't taken care of yourself, or when you've fallen way too far into lazy sweatpants mode and you realize your priorities are falling back. It's about knowing what you need and when you need it so that you can stay center, so that you can feel sane. Right? Balance is about bringing yourself back to the default of who you are in full essence. Balance is about breaking overwhelm, getting out of stress, and getting out of doubt because you're back in center, aligned with your values, aligned with what you believe. Balance is having a healthy work life, along with a healthy and vibrant social life, along with feeling at peace and ease with who you are and being completely in love with yourself. So now that you know what balance is and what balance is not, let's talk about how to get into balance with yourself. So today I want to give you 5 tips on getting back into balance with yourself so that you can avoid burnout or spiraling way too far into stress, and you can be here in the present to enjoy your life. So, tip number 1 is to learn to listen in. When we can learn to tune into ourselves and listen to what we truly need, we can block out so much of that external noise that's trying to tell us what we want and know what we truly need. So, the best question that you can bring yourself to tap into yourself is simply asking yourself, what do I need? And really giving that question some time and space to let an answer come up, right? It's not like, okay, what do I need? Okay, there's nothing there, then I'll just move on. It's actually sitting with, what do I need? Maybe grabbing a pen and paper and journaling out, okay, what do I need? And letting yourself flow with all of the things you've kind of put on the back burner recently and seeing which one feels like it needs the most attention right here and now. The more you can sit in with yourself and learn to listen in and trust that you know what you need more than anyone else around you, the easier centering yourself back becomes. The easier coming from out of balance back into balance becomes, because you know that you can always come back, tune in, and ask yourself what it is you truly need. Once you get this practice going and you start trusting yourself, it becomes much easier to hear those answers. Which brings us to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to learn when to lean in and when to let go. So when we are feeling off balance, oftentimes what we want to rush past really quick is our emotions, is that hard thing we had to deal with last week, is that fight that we had with a friend a couple weeks ago, that argument we had with our loved one last night. Those are often the things we want to just push down and resist and ignore. And those are the things that bring us way off balance so frequently and keep us off balance for so long. And as they pile up, start to contribute to worry, guilt, stress, and so much more that we spiral into. And so learning when to lean in or let go is such an important balance tool. So what does this mean? Well, with all of our emotions, we need to lean in and we need to let go. And it's about finding the process that works best for you so that you can move forward in this process in a beautiful flow. So leaning into something means letting it happen, right? So often, like I said, we want to push these emotions down, we want to ignore them, and we want to resist them because we've labeled them as bad. We've labeled them as too emotional or something we shouldn't feel, right? So anger and sadness are oftentimes things that we push down and we just want to ignore and we want them to go away. But bad news is emotions don't just poof disappear, memories don't just poof disappear. They want us to pay attention to them. Emotions in their core state just want to be felt. And so when we lean in, we feel them. We get angry if we need to get angry. We get sad if we need to get sad. And we know that these are only temporary. So therefore we can let them go. And when we've processed them, when we've felt them, is when we know we can let them go. So we lean in and we let go, and we bring ourselves back to center. This brings us to tip number 3, balance tip number 3, which is creating some daily habits. There's nothing like bringing yourself back to center than starting your day by being in center. So find the daily habits that feel good for you, that work for you, and that are what your soul really needs. So oftentimes when we hear daily habits or creating a morning routine, we start to pick up what everyone else says should be in your morning routine or should be in your daily habits, but no one else knows how you operate the way you do. So you have to decide what your daily habits look like and why those are good for you. So I'll share mine with you just to get your ideas flowing, and know that yours don't have to look like mine. So I tend to rebel against the word routine. So I like to call mine non-negotiables, and these are just things that I know are going in my day no matter what. When I skip them, I get off balance. When I do them, I feel centered. So every morning I do my 3 M's: meditation, mind dump, and movement. So meditation, pretty straightforward. I am still and silent in some way, shape, or form. Mind dump is my journaling, my morning pages. I'm literally just getting out whatever is in my head, and there's always something up there. And movement, pretty straightforward. I'm moving my body. Typically, this really just looks like a stretch, getting ready for the day, moving my muscles around, letting my body know I'm awake. Typically later in the day is when my workout happens. It's a very gentle movement in the morning. And then my last non-negotiable is learning. So I'm going to be listening to a podcast, reading, or watching a lesson from something that I'm learning through. And then the final thing that I don't put in my non-negotiables, I just know is part of my day, is my afternoon energy release. So I'm working at this desk often, or my standing desk, aka my kitchen counter. And so I need an afternoon energy release. I need to get out, I need to move, right? So this is something that I always do in my day. These things keep me centered, these things keep me sane. So find your daily habits to bring you to your peace and calm state. Number four balance tip is checking in. So below this video, I've left a link for a balance checklist, and it's as simple as it sounds. It's checking in with different areas of your life to see where you've been lagging behind or where you haven't been paying as much attention to, so that you can know where you need to bring yourself back to center, right? So our lives have so much going on in them. We have work, we have a home life, we have our personal space, we have our adventures, we have our relationships, both romantic and friendships, and we have a relationship with self, and we have a relationship to our higher power. Our mind is not constantly categorizing these things for us. And so checking in with your balance, checking in where you may need a little extra attention every now and then, is such a great tool to bring yourself back to center. So you can grab my free balance checklist right below this video, and you can have right there in front of you a check-in that you can use every now and then. You can come back to when you're feeling just a little off and see what you need to do to pay attention to this part of your life a little bit more. And we are at tip number 5 for creating balance in your life. And tip number 5 is living on purpose. Making sure that what you're doing is for you and not just to rush through or power through your life. When you can live your life on purpose, then you are always in center. When you can live your life on purpose, then it feels really good. So what's one way that you can step into your purpose just a little bit closer today? Maybe try and ask yourself that question for the next week every morning. What's one thing I can do to step into my purpose today? And let yourself use that question to guide you into your center. All right, you all, those are our 5 tips for creating balance in your life. We'll do a quick recap of them all. Number 1 is learning to listen in. Number 2 is to lean in or let go and learn how you process those 2 things. Number 3 is our daily habits, making sure we're paying attention to what we're doing day to day to keep ourselves in center. Number 4 is checking in. Grab your balance checklist below this video so you can check in. And number 5 is living a life on purpose, and nothing will bring you into center more than that. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this video so much. Leave me a comment below to let me know what your favorite tip is and what you'll be implementing into your life so that you can create more beautiful balance. And if you loved this video, I would love for you to share it around so that everyone can start creating more balance in their life. And I will see you really soon.
It's on your right. That's what he's still saying my way. No, it's been just 3 weeks. Star Maker. That's not very good.